Now, America's #1 show on pop culture and politics. This is the Michael Medved Show.
And another great day in this greatest nation on God's green earth, where I don't care what part of the country you're in, whether you're anywhere between Honolulu or Maine, or the tip of Florida, or right up here in the great Pacific Northwest. There's a basic rule about politics and winning in politics. If you care about doing the right thing and you do the right thing, chances are you're going to win. If you only care about winning, then the chances are you won't win and you won't end up doing the right thing. And it seems to me that approach can apply when we're talking a little bit about the budget, the Paul Ryan budget that was passed yesterday in the House of Representatives. And, of course, it'll be killed in the Senate for purely political reasons by Harry Reid. But it also applies to another issue that we've spoken about before briefly, that we have the opportunity to speak about now with a member of Congress who I think has been courageous and inspirational on this particular issue. His name is Jeff Denham. He is a member of Congress representing California's 10th district, and he's a Republican. He's a conservative. He's a decorated Air Force veteran who has served in the active duty and on the reserves for 16 years in the United States Air Force. Congressman Denham, thanks very much for joining us.
Michael, thanks for having me on again.
Well, it's a great pleasure, and I really appreciate your issue regarding the Enlist Act. And just to let people know, for people who didn't hear about it when we were talking about it before, this is not any form of amnesty. It is not any form of forgetting about the fact that people need to enter the country properly and legally. What this does is it gives young people who grew up here in the United States who want to serve their country the chance to do so. Would that be an accurate summary?
Yeah, it's certainly earned legal status. It's not automatic. It's not guaranteed. It's completely up to the Department of Defense and each military branch on meeting the criteria. You've got to, you have to be able to speak English, pass a background check, and have a high school diploma from our school system.
So, in other words, if somebody wants to enter the United States illegally now, say as an 18 or 19-year-old, would that person be eligible to serve in our armed services?
No, this is for the kids that have been brought here to no fault of their own, that have gone through our school system, that have been here most of their lives. It's the only country they know. And you had to be here before 2011 and enter earlier than the age of 15.
Okay, and what this means is that if you serve in our military and you have an honorable service and an honorable discharge, you can then get not automatic citizenship, but a legal status. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. On what basis does anyone oppose this? Why is it become so tough for you to get this bill through Congress?
Well, I think ultimately we are going to get it through, but there's certainly been a number of critics out there that just don't understand our military and the immigrants that have contributed not only to our freedoms, but those that have served side by side with us throughout the course of the history of our nation. Every war, every battle we have had immigrants serving side by side with us.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, if you look at the Revolutionary War, it was full of people with foreign accents like von Steuben and Lafayette and Kosciuszko and people from a veritable United Nations. And this is one of those things for the people who oppose you. And I know that your colleague Steve King of Iowa has said, and you're both conservative Republicans, and you're both strong Republicans, and we need both of you, et cetera, et cetera. But Congressman King has said that your bill is like handing out candy to people at a parade. Your response to that?
I think that should feel like an embarrassment to those that serve, that there are members of Congress that would belittle our military like that. The critics of this bill are comparing this to taking American jobs. If you serve in the military, it's not a job. I mean, if you go out to Walter Reed and see the men and women that have been hurt or wounded in battle, this isn't a job. This is a service. This is a sacrifice to your country. I mean, there is no more greater show of patriotism and commitment to this country than being willing to put your life on the line and fight for our freedoms.
1-800-955-1776 is our phone number. We're speaking to Congressman Jeff Denham of the 13th District of California about his Enlist Act. You have a lot of co-sponsors for this bill, don't you?
Yes, bipartisan. I think primarily those that have served their country before, but we have some of the most conservative members and some of the most liberal members. I mean, this is something that cuts across party line and focuses on the strength of our nation.
Well, see, it's exactly what, when you talk to people who are disillusioned with Congress, and that's most Americans. I mean, the approval ratings for Congress are down in single digits, according to some polls. But one of the things people object to is even good and simple and direct and very popular stuff like this, you just can't get it done. Wouldn't achieving something like this be a way of helping some people who deserve some help, helping our military, at the same time that you help to recast the image of the Republican Party as something more than just a party of no?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that this is a common sense bill that will help to strengthen our military. The military's got the opportunity to select the best and brightest. We leave that up to the military to decide. But certainly if there's a bright individual that has gone through our public school system or our school system at all, they ought to be able to serve proudly in the military.
1-800-955-1776 is our phone number. Congressman Denham, you also voted yesterday on Paul Ryan's most recent budget. I happen to think that was an important thing to do. I assume that you agree.
I do. I think that it is important for us to show that we're not going to sit back and wait for the president or wait for the Senate while several years went by that they didn't have a budget. I think that it's important for us to lead by example and show the American people that we can actually balance our budgets, that we have a plan, that we have a substitute for the Affordable Care Act, that the Obamacare just doesn't work, and we're offering plans, ideas, solutions. I've always said that if the Democrats don't like it, if the Senate doesn't like it, then offer a solution of your own. Let's debate it in front of the American people and see who our country supports, what plan the country supports.
Well, that's exactly right. There's a terrific editorial in the Wall Street Journal today on the same theme, that basically if we're going to make any progress at all with our budgetary crisis, and frankly, we've made some progress thanks to you guys, thanks to the Republican majority in the House, reducing the deficit to some extent. But if we're going to get things in the right order, and particularly save Medicare and save Social Security long term, then we have to do something to get the spending under control, and that can only start when you actually have a proposal on the table, right?
Absolutely. Both parties know that Medicare and Social Security are either broke or going bankrupt, but it's important for both parties to offer up solutions. And we actually did put out the president's budget, and I think that it only received about a half a dozen votes. It may not have even received that many.
I think in the final analysis, people went on record it got zero. Your Congressman Ryan's budget, which you voted for, passed with what was 215 votes, and President Obama's budget, no one wanted to go on record for it. But let's go on record to Omar in Houston, Texas. You're on the Michael Medved Show with Congressman Jeff Denham.
First of all, I applaud you. This is such a great idea. And I'm a person, my father is from Pakistan, and I was in the U.S.